Today I want to show you how to use shoulder control to slow down a horse that's running off. And when I say running off, I don't mean one that's running scared, one that's bolting, one that's really spooking and just taking hold of the bit and running off. I'm talking about one that when you put them in the lope, then they just tend to go faster and faster and faster, and you just feel like you can never really get the horse balanced and control the speed within the gait. So that's what we're going to be solving today. Now, a few ways I see people try to fix this is that they'll either just hang in the horse's face the whole time, or they'll do the pressure and release, which I've experimented with a lot of things in the past. So the pressure and release, where you'll pull on them, wait for them to check in, and then release over and over again. Another one I see people do is where they'll take the nose around and do the one rein stop deal and kick the hip out and wait till the horse breaks all the way down, and then they'll go back into a lope. So there's a time and a place for a lot of these things. There's no one size fits all for fixing this, and sometimes those exercises can be effective, but the one I'm about to show you has been effective across a wide variety of horses, probably the most useful exercise I found for slowing down faster horses. And the reason I love it is because I don't have to hang in the horse's face the whole time, and I can use the horse's energy that he's already giving me for something constructive, and it helps me to work on numerous things at once. So not only am I getting the horse more slow and balanced, but I can work on my steering, I can work on pushing the shoulder over, getting that horse more light in the front end, so on and so forth. Really great exercise. Stay tuned, let's get into the video. So I'm on Barbie here. She's a young quarter horse mare, and she's still fairly green. She has about a month and a half of rides on her, but she's running into some of those issues like I mentioned before. She tends to run around really downhill and falling in on the front end, and so that makes her just really fast. If a horse is running downhill, you know, what happens is that all their energy is focused over the front end, and it's very hard for them to actually slow down. So once they lift and shift their energy back here, shift the weight back here, and start to get a little more balance, that automatically helps them to slow down without you actually having to pull in their face. So pulling on the face is not a fix for getting a horse balanced. I'm going to show you guys how I like to go about getting some shoulder control and getting their free in the shoulders. If they can get off that front end, then that's really going to help them to simultaneously move the weight to the hip, work on that hip more, and get more balanced and collected. There we go. What I want you guys to be able to do first, you got to check this off the list before you even work on this exercise. You got to make sure that you have some shoulder control. So you can see I can push her shoulders to the outside here really nicely. She's still bobbing off that bit a little bit, has a little bit of misunderstanding about that, but that's okay. I'm not worried about that right now. I just want to be sure that I can lay a leg there, guide the outside rein, and she moves to the outside really, really nicely, okay? Same thing to the inside. When I go to the inside here, I don't want the horse to just drift around in a big circle. That's not what I'm looking for. This would be a bend. This is fine. We have a nice little bend going here. What I want to do for this exercise is to be able to swing my horse across like a gate. So I'm going to open that inside leg up, and you can see how the horse's whole shoulder swung across. That's what I'm looking for, and that's what we're going to be doing at a lope in a less exaggerated way. All right, I'll show you that swing again. Step across, wait, wait, wait. There, the whole shoulder swung through. Okay, so it doesn't have to be that pretty, you know, she's doing pretty well in her turns and stuff. And so it doesn't have to be that nice, but your horse does have to have an understanding of how to really get straight and step across there. All right, it's good enough. Now I'm going to go ahead and bring her up to try and just demonstrate it just a little bit before we go into the lope. And this exercise too will work just as well at a trot. You can see she's getting pretty fast there. I'm just going to shift this way over here. She's trying to speed off those reins, and I'm just going to hold her here until I feel that shoulder swing through. See how she slowed down? Those feet slowed down right away. Now she's speeding back up. I'm going to swing her across here. Wait. I don't want to reward her for falling in. I'm going to reward her for stepping across. Bring the inside rein up. Wait, wait, wait. Wait till she swings. It's not happening yet. The inside shoulder's falling down. Inside shoulder's falling down. Now she swung across. I'm going to release. And you can see how much those feet slow down. And every time she slows down, I release those reins and I just pitch her away again, and we go back to our normal trot. This is exactly what we're going to be doing at a lope, okay? Go ahead and jog around, lift that inside rein, push her across from the outside, wait until that weight shifts back, and she steps underneath that rein. There it was. Do you see how the feet slowed down really nicely? Now we're starting to get a much more consistent, pretty jog. It's getting a little fast again. We'll just do the same thing. There, now she's starting to beat me to it. She's like, man, this isn't much fun. Every time I go speeding off like that, look at that. Now I'm barely able to push her out. That's really nice. That's the jog I'm looking for right there. All right, atta girl. Okay, it's going to be a little more difficult out of lope. This may take some time. One thing that I do want to point out is that we don't want to reward for the horse falling in. I see a lot of people try and take this exercise and they'll go across there and they'll turn that horse, and that horse just literally dives straight into the ground and just keeps running around. The whole goal of this exercise is to get that shoulder picked up. If you're not getting that shoulder picked up when you turn and you're just diving in, the horse is just going to go that much faster because he's just fallen in that much more. Be sure you get that picked up, wait for the horse to shift, wait for the energy to slow down, and then release. And then when I do release, the next thing I'll do to make sure that horse stays up, if he's going slow, I'll take that shoulder, push it back to the outside of the circle, and we'll continue on our merry way. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and bring her up to a lope here. Pretty fast. I'm just gonna show you guys how fast she's moving out right there. I'm just gonna pick her up gently. Wait, she's falling in there. There, the weight shifted. Not much of a difference, but there was some. I'm gonna do it again because she sped right back up again. There, she slowed down. I'm just gonna go back to neutral every single time I get this. Push her to the wall a little bit. There we go. Swing her back across. Wait, wait, wait. There it was. Release. You can see those feet are already starting to slow down. All right, we'll do it again. Look to the inside, swing. There it is. Good. And I also want you guys to remember to reward the try. We don't want this horse. I'm not going to try and make her lope around like a Western pleasure horse today. All I'm asking for her to do is to get a little more mentally engaged and just a little more balanced. Like we talk about in our other videos, it takes a lot of physical development for a horse to maintain balance of the lope. She fell out of lead there. I'm just going to gently break her down. She started to get really stiff for a moment. We'll try this again. It takes a lot of physical strength for a horse to maintain balance out of lope. So we just want to work on a little bit at a time and get them to where they're just slowly starting to connect. They start to connect the dots. They start to slow down just ever so slightly, and we reward for that. All right, let's go again. There we go. Charging off again. Pick up. You see how she fell right there? She dove into the inside of the circle. I'm not going to reward for that. There it was. There was a slowdown. All right. Very nice. Very nice. She's loping around much more slow. Even offered to slow down for me right there, and I'm going to take it. Good job. Good girl. My jeans keep riding up here. It's okay, you're fine. It's a little bit annoying. So if you get to any point in this exercise and your horse is just getting really frazzled and he's starting to get really worried about you turning him like that, I don't want you to keep going. I want you to slow down, regroup, go back to that trot like I was showing you a minute ago. Make sure your horse has a really clear understanding of what you're asking them to do, and then pick him back up into the lope. If you go into that lope and you start getting that horse really anxious and worried, you're not actually getting any teaching done, because worried horses cannot learn, and we're completely defeating the purpose of what we're working on here. All right. I'll go ahead and bring her back up to a lope. There it is. Getting a little fast. I'll just pick that shoulder up. Notice how I always lift my inside rein a little bit before turning. Nothing happened yet. There it was. Charging back off again a little bit. I'm just gonna go ahead and turn again. Wait, wait, there it was. Now she's going a little slower. That's much better, much better. Push her to the outside a little more. She's getting a little heavy. There it was. All right, you can see how much slower that lope is. All right, we'll bring her right down. Atta girl, atta girl. All right, we'll go ahead and take her to the right and work on the same exercise that direction as well. Now, if at any point you're doing this exercise and you're loping around and you ask that horse to turn and they break to that big old hammer trot, I don't really like that hammer trot in between. I'll either gently kiss them back up to a lope and keep asking for the exercise, Or if they're too anxious and they're really, really tight, I'll break them down to a trot, get them bending really nicely, push that shoulder to the outside, get them really relaxed again, and then I'll try it again. But I don't like to normally ride the line there in between and let them do that big old hammer trot. So again, either push them back up into a lope if they're calm enough to take it, or break them back down if they're too worried. But don't just go to a walk and camp out until you get what you need. Otherwise, every time you try to do this exercise, your horse is gonna fall in, he's going to slow down to that hammer trot, break to a walk, and he's going to quit on you. We want to get control out of lope. We want to be able to have balance out of lope, not just stop every time they do something wrong. It is. All right. Not too bad, but could be slower. There it is. Now she's getting a little chargy in that corner. Wait, there. Release. Pick her up again, getting a little chargy. Wait, release. Good job. And when I turn, I make these straight lines. I'm not making a big old bend out here. My intention here, good girl, she's starting to breathe a little bit. My intention here is to turn, cut across that circle, make a straight line, and then push him to the wall by picking up this inside rein here. There it is. Much better. All right, we'll let her slow down. So much better. Good girl. So I'll show you this in slow motion just one more time, or at a walk I should say, one more time. When we are at that lope and the horse begins to run off, I'm going to turn, wait till that shoulder swings. And I mean, I'm not saying just make a turn. I see some people do this too. They'll make a 45 and that horse never actually figures it out. He never actually slows down. He just kind of makes a move and then they release. I want you to keep turning until you feel that weight shift back and the horse slow down ever so slightly, okay? And then once you feel that, don't keep going on a bend like this. Don't hold that horse in a bend. Release everything, go straight across that circle. And when you're about to get to that wall, pick up the inside rein, free that shoulder up, push it to the outside, and leave them alone. Go back to your circle. Probably gonna charge off again. You're gonna do the exact same thing. Lift up, turn, wait till that shoulder swings, go straight, leave them alone. When you get close to the wall, help them out, pick up that shoulder, free them up, push them over there, and find your circle again, okay? So straight lines, turns, straight lines, and turns. And a little bit of circle in between. So a few things that I want you guys to remember is don't hang in your horse's face. Always go back to a neutral position and leave that horse alone. You gotta trust the horse. You gotta let him make the mistake before you correct it. If you're always babysitting them and you never give them any accountability or responsibility, they're not going to get to that point where they can carry themselves balanced. And that's what we've talked about in other collection videos. This is the part where you're getting that mental collection, but you gotta get them balanced. You gotta get them developed to where they're learning how to shift that weight back and carry themselves on their own before you start working on that real physical side of collection.